an opportunity for a little different perspective. About 100 feet high, and it's gorgeous up here. Gives a different opportunity. Shadows and reflections are part of the dynamic. As God's word, as water reflects man's face, so God's word reflects the man. What I'm really all about is sharing God's word to the ends of the earth around the clock. Bible.com is an effective way of doing that by simply adding Bible.com to comments face-to-face and Facebook worldwide. We have an opportunity to share the gospel. Not just little bits and pieces of it, but God's word in over 1,000 languages for free, wherever this technology is available. I so strongly believe in it because I was born again about 2 years ago on Halloween, even though I did ministry activity for over 33 years. Jesus changed me so sufficiently that he got my attention to help me to realize not only that I wasn't actually born again those years earlier, it's become more recent. Like I said, about 2 years ago. If I step in a garage, it doesn't make me a car. There's a lot of people that go to church to maybe find a companion. They may be looking to expand their client base for whatever enterprise they have. There's all kinds of reasons. Maybe to gain credibility within the community, restore respect. As I delight myself in the Lord in all my ways, acknowledge Him, what He does is He places His desire in my heart. Basically the reason why He created me. He puts that desire in my heart. So it's a true joy to walk obediently with Jesus. Not only did Jesus create a place in all of His children that only He can fill, until He's indwelling His children, the child of God, and they're obediently walking with Him, they're just not going to enjoy the peace and the joy of knowing Him. We're all eternal beings having a temporary human experience. That's what this is all about. And one of the dynamics that I just wanted to make you aware of is there's a tremendous amount of deception in this world. It's only by God's grace that anybody can love and believe the truth, let alone find it. You're going to find probably that I repeat myself over and over again on some of these different phrases that I have. I believe Jesus gave them to me to help people remember them. When you see shadows and reflections, if you've been watching my videos, you'll understand that there are clues all over the place, all over this world, that God's Word is ever present in the child of God who listens to and meditates on His Word, and there's a whole bunch of satanic distraction that comes in the form of what's talked about as news or entertainment. It's all programming, including God's Word. God's Word is a different type of programming. It has an eternal perspective to it. God's Word is sharper than any two-edged sword. As I meditate on God's Word, what He does is He brings to light the pertinent perspective that He wants me to have. What really matters in life? What shall it profit a man if he gain the whole world and lose his very soul? So there are people racing around with luxurious vehicles and letters all around their name, or maybe bank accounts that have many dollars in them. There was a story Jesus told about a man that was going to tear down his storage buildings and build all new ones to store all the stuff that he had acquired. And the Lord said to him, this night your soul will be required of you. So who's basically going to get all that you've worked for, all that you stored up? So I'm not envious of other people's titles and positions in life. I have what I enjoy is a great satisfaction of sharing God's Word with this amazing technology. There was a day when scribes and scrolls used quills. Yeah, a lot of people use pills today to try and feel good, but doing God's Word is the only, or living obediently with Jesus, obeying His Word, is the only way that I've really found true satisfaction in life. So, where we used to have scrolls and quills and all of that, now we have digital recordings of God's Word that we can listen to. We can also film the majesty and beauty of God's creation and share it with people. As I make the posts that I do, on my original post I'll typically put Bible.com, eternalperspectivebible.com, and also I make that in the comment as well. Right now when I make my original post and I put eternalperspectivebible.com on a photo, for example, the Bible.com is not allowed on there. I have to edit all my posts, so I have to re-enter that. If you're wondering why yours may go away if you decide to do that. When I put Bible.com in a Facebook comment, the actual picture of the Bible shows up. And that's so important. It's a wonderful opportunity to be able to share God's Word to the ends of the earth around the clock. As we're doing life, we can do that. Since I don't watch much TV at all in the past couple of years, I've only paid attention to a little more than a handful of hours of television, simply because that is a very controlled media that has very little substance that I'm interested in. What's called news, and I used to be a quote-unquote news junkie. I would just watch lots of hours of news and science programs and discovery programs and all kinds of interesting programs. What I found out is that so much of the programming is very deceptive. I didn't realize how deep the deception goes. If you peruse through my Perspectives of Creation photo album, you'll get clues of it. And some of the narration that I put when I show, for example, a feather falling through the air and then floating on water, or a seashell taken out from underneath the water and allowed to float on top of the water. Those are clues. Gravity is basically a lie. That's a theory that was brought up to explain why water doesn't go flinging off into space and people don't go floating away. Well, the differences in density and mass is basically what causes that to happen. It's not gravity. If I were to, not me, if something were to fall off of this balcony, it would fall simply because it's heavier, more dense than the atmosphere around it. Whereas if I were to take a helium balloon and release it right here, it would float away because it's lighter than the atmosphere. The combination of the Mylar balloon and the helium contained in it is lighter than the atmosphere around it, so it floats away. That's what that's all about. When I'm showing you beautiful sunrises and sunsets and pelicans flying, boats floating, shrimp boats out there, fishing boats, those are all clues. I'm trying to show you the wonder and majesty of God's creation. Buoyancy, once again, the difference of density and mass between a shrimp boat or a luxury gambling boat that's out there. What happens is it displaces more mass and density than than the water, so it floats on top of it. A rock will fall through. If I take that same material, like what a seashell is made out of, if I break that seashell with a hammer and drop it in the water, it'll fall right to the bottom. If I take that seashell in its natural state and it's full of water, it'll sink. If I empty it out and set it on top of the water, it'll float. As you look behind me, what I'm showing you too is a very level horizon. I've got an artificial horizon in my camera, which is very, very technologically advanced. It will allow me to make my photos very level and square, and I've noticed the architecture is also very plumb, vertical, and the horizon is very level. We use laser technology to build large buildings. Multi-million-dollar buildings are made with verticals that are straight up and horizontals that are a level plane. We basically live on a non-moving level plane. The water is basically level, and everything else is measured above and below the sea level that you're looking at right there. That's basically how that works. We've got mountains that are over 5 miles tall, Mount Everest, you can check it out, and the depths of the ocean in various places. The Marianas Trench is over 7 miles deep. So what is our world like? Well, I encourage people to hear, share, and obey God's Word. Bible.com.